Hello, as part of our National Hispanic Heritage Month, we are going to sit down right now and have a conversation with Leo Castro. Leo, why don't you tell us about yourself and what you do?
So I'm a pastor, the pastor of Eternidad, Centro, Cristiano, or Eternidad Christian Center. We've been in Sparks for about 2.5 years or so, more or less. Started the church about 8 years ago. We just celebrated our anniversary, and we're just basically here to minister to the Hispanic community, which is growing immensely. Super happy with what we're doing right now, and we're happy to be able to be here in the middle of a community that is just booming.
Yeah, so their church meets here on Sunday afternoon. So tell us a little bit about how ministry looks like with ECC, and how do you guys do ministry and stuff?
So we base ministry on our mission, and our mission is to glorify God. And I know that sounds very churchy, but it's to glorify God. Anything and everything we do has to glorify God, and that actually helps us define what we do and what we don't do. So if it doesn't glorify God, we don't do it. If it glorifies God, we do it. And then after we glorify God, we want to equip every believer to fulfill the Great Commission. So we center the ministry around that. And so we teach the Word, obviously, on Sundays. We equip women, men, marriages, and children, and all that. Okay. So we're very intentional about the Word. We actually teach a class, leadership and theological class every Thursday night with a bunch of folks from not only here in Sparks, but we have folks in Mexico, in Chile, Las Vegas, and so on and so on. So very intentional about the Word, because we believe that the Word is what transforms our lives. It certainly has me, and so very intentional about that.
So most people, when they think of church, they think of Sundays, but there's 6 other days of the week.
Absolutely.
So tell us a little bit about how you connect people, build a community outside of the Sunday times.
And even now, more so with COVID and all that. So we're using technology to the best ability that we have. I mean, I'm not the techiest guy, but we've had to learn some things. And so, for instance, Monday nights we have women connecting with a prayer group every Monday at 7, from 7 to 8. Wednesdays, women also connect via Zoom for a Bible study. Thursdays with the university. Men connect Sunday morning. Children also Sunday afternoon. So we're trying to be proactive in terms of not just because it's very easy to just do the Sunday thing.
Simple,
you know, and that's it. You're done. And so now more than ever, folks are still a little hesitant to congregate. And so we're using, again, social media to connect folks. Eventually we'll do the groups like you guys are doing, connecting, personally in somebody's home. But right now it's Zoom, and it's working out really well for us.
Well, so can you tell us a specific story of maybe where you've seen that community, not on Sundays, but during the week? Can you tell a specific story that came to your mind?
Well, I'll tell you a personal story, and then I'll give you another one that just happened yesterday. Personal story is I had COVID 5 weeks ago, and it was, I had COVID last year in July, so I kind of like to get
once
COVID.
A year.
Yeah, once a year is my thing. And so last year was nothing. It was just a little headache here, and you were done in 4 days. This year it was scary. It was almost, if I didn't do what the doctor said I needed to do, I wouldn't be here. Okay. And so the whole church came together, and for, I'm gonna say 3 entire weeks, they just showed up with food 3 times a day. And that's the advantage of being Hispanic, because we have some, not that you guys don't have a lot of good food, but you guys don't have anything on Mexican food.
Yeah.
I'm not Mexican, but we were spoiled to death.
That's great.
It was incredible. So that's a personal thing, the church coming together. And I don't think they did it because I'm the pastor. I think they did it because that's the nature of their heart. And yesterday we had a family from Haiti showed up. You go and they speak French, and they do, but this family also happens to speak some Spanish. They were in Chile, out of all the countries, and I'm from there, for 3 years. So they learned a little bit of Castilian, and I have my personal opinions about that, but I have to set those aside. And the church is again coming together to embrace this family that is completely out of place because they've came from Haiti to Chile, from Chile having to go up north through South America to come here. And so they feel, I can only imagine what they're going through, but now I'm seeing that the church again is rallying to get, what do we need to do for this young family that have a 3-year-old girl that is also, I mean, if the parents are out of place, this little girl is going through a hard time. So phenomenal way of just, these guys are looking for opportunities to be a blessing, and it's phenomenal to be a part of that.
And so you're giving them some hope that they can have a connection here with you guys specifically, and with a whole new culture and country. So where else have you seen that hope for people within your ministry?
One of the things that I got out of COVID, besides losing about 16 pounds, was just a greater sense of urgency, if you will, to share the gospel. So a few years ago, I was on a trip to Venezuela, and I was praying and asking God, hey, could you make me, give me some help in terms of making a little pamphlet that anyone can use to share the gospel. So we came up with this. They're in Spanish and English. And so we're teaching the congregation, hey, you know what? This is a way, an easy way to share the gospel, because anywhere you look at right now, everybody is going through something. Let it be that it's health issues, somebody that passed away, and so on and so on. So we are teaching the congregation to basically have a tool that could be very easily used. Because one of the things right now we find out is that we're afraid. I'm a pastor, I've been doing this for a while, and sometimes I'm afraid to share the gospel or say, hey, do you believe in the power of prayer, and so on and so on. And so we feel that God is showing up through folks that want to commit to do something practical like this.
Awesome.
And it's not just let's say, for instance, bringing a meal, but it's bringing hope for eternity. Ecclesiastes chapter 3, I think is verse 11, says, for God has placed eternity in the heart of man. And so we're, again, very intentional about sharing the gospel and using tools that are practical.
Right. You mentioned prayer, so how can we pray for you? How can we support you if somebody listening?
Prayer, I'm going to say prayer so that we do the right thing. You know, as a pastor, I think one of the biggest, not fear, but challenges will be, I want to lead well. I want to lead folks to, that is not my thing, it's not my vision, but it's God directing it. This is what you guys need to do, and so on. And you know, being in ministry, that there's seasons in the ministry where you got to go this way, and sometimes you got to go this way. So to lead well, and to be able to have a greater compassion for, and to be even greater compassion, which is important, to take advantage of the opportunities that we have in front of us. I mean, today is very different from 2 years ago. The opportunities to share the gospel today are phenomenal. In the midst of the storm, we can be a light and a hope. So.
Well, thanks for your time, and muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias a ti por estar conmigo y entrevistarme y todo lo demás. I'm just kidding. It's good to see you guys, and thank you so much for what you guys do for ECC. We are blessed to be able to congregate here with all of you.
And we're blessed to have you in the building on Sundays, and it's just God's kingdom work in a different language. It's all the same. It's about God.
Yeah, exactly.